Up next, it's going to be Effortless versus dramis for week number 2 of stage 4 of the Quake Pro League, where my name's Ketchup, joined by the always wonderful ZSX. And it's another one of our North American showdowns, mate. What do we think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I think I'm a fan of dramis. I always enjoy watching him. Effortless was very downbeat following his performance in the finals, and has made a vehement up there with the very best. And I agree that he has the skill to be, but there's a lot of areas of his game he needs to improve, and he knows that. So I'm hoping to see that commitment and dedication come through against dramis, because if he takes dramis down, that's definitely a statement to that.
Yeah, I mean, you need to have that confidence in a 1v1 game, don't you?
Yeah,
no matter the genre, no matter the game, no matter what it is. If you're not confident in yourself, like, you've already kind of lost the battle before you've even begun. So, in Effortless's position to say, you know what, no, I have got what it takes, and I should be up there among everyone else, then, you know, I respect that dedication to it. And we've seen time and time again just how capable Effortless actually is. Like, he is a very hungry, avid, just kind of, you know, somewhat of his own little scientist of the game. He does look for little unique tricks and little trick jumps and stuff like that, as we've seen, you know, in a ton of different maps and stuff like that. But dramis has just been a bit more consistent, hasn't he? Dramis, I know that it feels a little bit like he had somewhat plateaued a little bit, like he was a real kind of breakout player of the Americas at an early stage of Quake Pro League, and as we get later and later, it's not as much as it was before, but there's still moments of greatness there.
100%. I completely agree with that. There was a time where he came from, not from nothing, but, you know, from relative unknown and obscurity to somebody that was just putting in huge performances against all players. And then it feels like he's found his footing now a little bit in that kind of mid-tier. I think in terms of his skill ceiling, if that's the term you like to use, I think he has a high one, though. His all-round game just looks solid. And it's I think it's a slow progression. I think there was a big learning curve that he adjusted to very, very quickly. It doesn't feel like the levels are creeping up, but it's a lot slower than that initial burst of acceleration in terms of progression that we saw.
Yeah, he's proven many, many times that when the time comes for like really execution, whether that's aiming or movement, particularly the movement area, that's where dramis can really start to shine. Speaking of movement, though, we're going to see how much of that brings to when our picks and bans. We can see what's been selected here. And as we now load it in, we can see Molten Falls up first, Awoken, and then Veil of Nath. Dramis, I mean, he Molten Falls, and it's a map that we see him play on quite regularly, so there's no surprises there. Awoken for Effortless with the Galena, and then Veil of Nath, the battle of the big bodies, the meta of the large stacks coming through for that third map.
Yeah, usually we would see these picks being dramis' name, you know, Slash. His staple, Athena, got banned out, someone he loves to play as well. So interested to see how he adapts to that. He's incredibly versatile anyway, but definitely feel that the speed unlocks a lot of his play style and skill. As we saw earlier, Slash, although she's incredibly powerful, she can struggle against heavy champions when she doesn't get that momentum in her name, particularly when the Sorlag has a lot of speed to boast herself. So that'll be quite a difficult one. Galena versus Ranger, pretty standard meta, and then finishing off with Keel versus Scalebearer, once again, fairly standard. Nothing to speak about, really, between those two.
I think this would be a really big result for Effortless, but if we're going to go down predictions, you know, we're now loading into Molten Falls for our first map. It's kind of hard to not go with dramis for this one. I just think that he's looking a little bit more consistently better. I think that the picks are fine for him. The maps, nothing about the maps really seems to catch him quite uncomfortable either. So, yeah, if I was a betting man, I'd say dramis. I think maybe even a 3-0.
I'm going to go 3-0 as well. I don't think he'll steamroll Effortless. I just feel that he's got a bit of an edge on him.
Just checking the warm-up now. The matchup, I mean, between Sorlag and Slash, it's kind of like what you pointed out, where we'd normally see that that crouch slide go into dramis. And then, you know, there was no Strog there either, which is quite surprising to me, but...
Yeah, that's rather unusual as well. But maybe dramis just he's in a position now where he can begin to expand his champion pool, expand his playstyle a bit. One of the criticisms of dramis is that he is a little bit one-dimensional, relying on the speed and utility too much. So keen to see how he plays these, because I don't think I've seen him play a Scale Bearer, for instance. Anyway, starting on Molten.
Yeah, that's already a chunk of damage dished out by dramis, though, right near the heavy spawn. And if we're talking about position, I mean, the only thing that dramis lacks is a rail, so it's good that he's deciding to finally go for it. And now he knows the coast is clear. He's got a lot of that good knowledge. Immediately tags by that rail, though, so Effortless and in position. And with that Mega about to spawn, that one rail alone means that it's kind of created that trade-off, hasn't it? It's created that, I take one, you take one position. Where now dramis straight back to the center.
That's how maps usually unfold at the very, very start, where there's a testing going on, bit of back and forth, teasing each other out just to feel how the momentum of the map's going to be, what your opponent's going to be up to. Very, very standard matchup here. Effortless playing slow, just getting that information. dramis well unaware what it's doing though, and he hits a great opening rail, but the return damage from Effortless was incredible as well. Lightning going out, dramis hits nothing and goes down.
He had the right idea to kind of catch that knock up there from Effortless, but oh no, that's a bad place to get caught. dramis with only a rail in hand. Effortless doesn't have a massive stack, so chasing it was going to be a little bit brave. But that has put dramis so far down, and that rail alone means that dramis can't fight for the heavy. Great situation for Effortless, who just swoops on by, takes it, and now, God, you can hear the chase. I'm checking it out from dramis' POV, you can just hear that crouch sliding constantly when he's got, like, no health.
He has worked himself away, he's extremely weak, and Effortless knows that he can keep the pressure up. This is why we see him whipping around the map with all that speed coming out. He just wants to catch him in an in-fight combat situation. But dramis is scudding himself away, and Effortless doesn't want to lose out on this heavy, so wants to get back in position. dramis is committing, good timing, a great rockets.
There was even more potential there for dramis, where he had the angle, he was actually ready for Effortless to slide towards heavy. He just missed the opening rail. Speaking of rail, gets a second one, and it has been able to undo all of the armor that Effortless has. Not that it matters too much at this stage. He swoops in and takes one of the lights, but at the moment, it just looks like Effortless. Again, he's comfortable, and he wins the LG 1v1. A decent chunk of damage coming out there.
Yeah, and that's what Effortless is more than capable of doing, is matching up with mechanical skill. His aim is on point here at the moment, and as long as he keeps to the fundamentals and doesn't overcommit, he's in a very strong position. dramis is doing a good job of making sure he gets timing of the items, he's ever present at the items, he might even knock Effortless off here. That was close, good decision from dramis, but unfortunately for him, he does go down. He has got Effortless very weak, which means he should be able to maintain a strong position and pick up the heavy himself.
Now he's looking for that opening shot. Rail slightly misses. Just before dramis had an angle of his own here, and he has a way bigger stack, but the reality is that Effortless is the one in the lead, right? He's the one that's controlling this so far. dramis does get a good rail. I mean, you need to get those rails in this kind of situation. Those lights. One rail alone can change things, and Sorlag, I mean, she's definitely a fast champion.
Yeah, we can see how much trouble Effortless is in here with nothing to work. Just look at those stacks. Any engagement here, and Effortless will go down. Does a lot of damage. And
get off! Off you
but
go.
Look how much damage he's done. Wouldn't be surprised if he wants to put on some pressure here with the Mega coming up.
It's like dramis, he's going to concede it. He knows that if Effortless is off the spawn, I actually love the choice to go in with the rail there. He knows that Effortless has just spawned, so for him to be near Mega at that time, he surely can't have any armor at all. So he knows that if he hits the rail, comboing it into the acid spit would be the perfect choice. A lot of, that was a high risk, high reward, but he had the reward for sure.
Yeah, Effortless slightly over aggressive there, perhaps realizing that he was maybe still going to go down if dramis double backed, but maybe one of the slightly unnecessary plays as well, giving away a free frag.
A lot of position here for dramis to make chase. And he gets some opening damage to start things off. Effortless.
He's very early.
So used to seeing Slash being able to run away from everyone kind of almost easily, but
he's
dramis
so lucky that dramis was late.
He gets a rail anyway, though. We'll see just how impactful the rocket jump to get through the plasma trail. I love it. I love it.
Oh, Dramis really messes up there, missing 2 items back to back. There was no reason he shouldn't have been at those major items on time.
And if you're in Dramis' position too, Effortless has immediately started being more defensive too. He is going around this corner. That rocket damage. Not so good for Effortless. The stack difference means that going for this Mega is going to be risky business if you're in Effortless's shoes. Dramis actually choosing to push out first. Worried about that, actually. Yeah, he hasn't quite beat him to the punch, but I was almost a little bit worried Effortless might have been able to beat him to that one. Looking like we should get another frag. The Acid Spit's going to do it. 3 for 3 now. Dramis has... Honestly, it kind of feels like maybe he should have taken the lead a little bit earlier with some of the opportunities he's had, but that doesn't really change the fact that, just like that, ZSX, he's made it 4 to 3.
Yeah, there's a bit of time between major items now, so there is an opportunity for Effortless to get in and keep the aggression up here, which he does, but he goes down. He's a light champion, and Dramis is hitting hard.
It's always said about Dramis, execution is rarely something that he has to worry about. If he has to hit some of these crazy shots, you can often bet that he's going to do it. He just does not have the stack to compete. You have to be worried about that fact. And he goes in and takes the beat because it almost feels like Dramis, I mean, he allowed it to be. Very clutch little ledge grab. Is enough to save him though. Dramis can't push. Plasma Trail was too extreme. Manages to get out of there just in time. This Mega's about to be taken. Can Dramis get him before it? Looks like he can't. And actually, wait a minute. Effortless, can he finish it?
Yeah, this almost feels that Dramis is giving too much respect for Effortless there. Not dropping down onto the heavy, letting... Yes, he hit a rail, but he still let Effortless get that heavy, then over-committing for a frag instead of backing off for the Mega. Effortless is fortunate at the moment that Dramis is making these mistakes. As he does tie it up 5 to 5.
I feel like I blinked and missed it, ZSX. 5 to 5 now. Super even, but not much of this map left to go. And now Dramis... he's just getting consistently caught off by those rails. The nature of these larger champions, the whole game is to pepper them down with rails first. Dramis, he gets a cool little combo, but it's nothing. Even hitting that rail is meaningless. Effortless can still get the frag on that.
Well, I thought he was going to knock him off there. He was still really close to dying. Effortless would have died for a rail.
Right, pops the Plasma Trail. Is a little bit late though. Not a massive amount of damage to punish, so there's definitely time here for Dramis to make something happen.
Effortless does have the rail advantage. He should be trying to use that. Dramis does a good job of closing the angle to pressure Effortless away from the heavy. He gets himself a free item, and Effortless can get back to try and defend this rail. He knows where he is, but doesn't hit anything just so far and has to back off.
Oh, both players missed their rails. So similar stacks. It's all about the advantage, the situation, the position that Effortless found himself in, where he could get the Mega, and Dramis maybe being a little bit too eager. He does manage to get some Acid Spit. Oh no!
Oh my word!
The Acid Spit at least gave him the information, but he just couldn't get the finishing shot. We've been praising the accuracy, but it's starting to fail Dramis a little bit. Effortless gets a frag again.
Just seems that Dramis' timing is a little off. There's so many items, he's just a second or two too late, and Effortless is just waiting around and getting free pickups. He's making it count, but he's getting a little bit fortunate on that fact.
And Effortless, as we now are just over a minute left, this is 100% the moment you can start retreating. Effortless, how quickly he's getting into position, clearly just catching Dramis off guard here.
Yeah, that's what's been most impressive, is the use of that slash's speed to forge these angles, and the execution again, hitting them. And
well, it feels like maybe I already spoke too soon. Maybe I
oh no!
Oh, maybe I didn't speak too soon. What is it with cursing things today?
You're very good at cursing things. There is so much time left. Effortless just needs to run, as Dramis is stacked to the brim, and he's hit the rail as well. He's caught down here. The execution from Dramis is not there!
He misses the shot too! Misses spaghetti all over the floor! Dramis. He has time, but not much of it. What a scramble that was. Can he make it count? Effortless? He's holding the angle. He's playing defensive game.
I think Dramis knows.
The fake!
Oh,
no!
Oh, I saw that in slow motion from Effortless's palm.
I'm so sorry, mate. I'm so sorry, Effortless. He still has time to win, though. I'm not gonna Curse it a second time.
Like, mentally now he's in a dark place, and the pressure and momentum is so against him. It's going to be hard. 15 seconds split between major items, and then he gets knocked off the map. Ooh. Dramis might even just bait this Mega Hell. Effortless doesn't know if he drops on it, he's going to die. Dramis decides to play safe though.
And as does Effortless. He concedes and gives it up, but there is a chunky delay between the two of them.
See, Effortless
it's
is
not
still
as
running.
simple. Yeah, it's not as simple as Effortless just being able to back up and take a trade-off almost.
Dramis doing his due diligence of checking all potential hiding spots so he doesn't take any unnecessary damage. Do the basics.
Is a scary situation for Effortless now. The stack just isn't there. He's playing on the teleporters. He's doing a good job of just being slippery, but...
Oh, he's caught him!
Watch out! The collision.
Oh, no, he's...
no.
Will he go down?
Damage. He's not bleeding. The light health keeps him alive. But, I mean, the question is how long. If we're talking about stack differences, this is as extreme as it gets. Effortless surely... Oh,
GG.
Played so well, but just the last minute, at the last second. I mean, even their damage was almost completely deadlocked. There was a difference of like 20 damage between the two of them.
Yeah,
even games.
There was so many slip ups from Dramis in that game, but Effortless. All credit to Effortless in capitalizing on those mistakes. He was always in the right position. It would have been easy for him to not have a presence in those items and miss out on those mistakes from Dramis. So he always made sure it counted. He did an amazing job of using the speed of Slash to forge key fighting opportunities and angles for rails, and made sure his execution was on point. But it turned out that the pressure from the heavy stack of the Sorlag was relentless. And it's always fun to watch both of these players. When they play together, it's just pretty chaotic at times.
I just feel bad for just the closing moments of that map. But just Dramis' ability to just get the right moment at the end. You know, even down to like the rocket, the kind of fake rocket jump, going straight forward towards jump pad. Actually, not the first time we've seen that play win a map in 17. But been a little bit of a returning player here. But off the back of that, in Effortless' position, the dangerous thing is that a map going that way is often what it does to your mental state, right? What it does to your mentality is that there's so much opportunities now where you have to just try and shake it off. You know, we've all had a situation in any game where you're so close to getting it, and he played so well as well. That's why I think that hurts as much as it does. Just go a quick little bit of a Thomas is going for a game restart, so we've got a couple of minutes just while we wait to get into Awoken. But
you can see,
Effortless, he has to try and shake it off, right? No other choice.
It's those losses are tough, and you could see for the last 2 minutes he was lost. When you as a player are just standing and hiding, hoping you're not found, it's not a good feeling, because you don't know what you should be doing in those situations. I think your game needs to be purpose driven, and you need to be proactive and on the front foot as much as you can. So when you do that and it doesn't work out, it does kind of kill your soul.
Soul-crushing defeat.
And we know how emotional Effortless can be. I think that's one of the areas he's admittedly wants to improve on. So if he can come back from that, then that's another step on his way to becoming a better player.
Looks like Dramis has rejoined the lobby, so we're just confirming that both players are ready to rock. Remember, everyone, this is week number 2 of Stage 4 of Quake Pro League. Crazy to think that we've had so many games already, isn't it, Dan? I mean, just the amount of weeks we've got through of this, and the fact that, we're still here, Effortless versus Dramis, a matchup that we've had time and time and time again, and both players just kind of consistently reaching just a higher point than they did before. Dramis, he is a player that has come a long way, even if he's not quite been able to reach like the next highs that players like, maybe a Chain would, or something very similar. It's still great to just see the consistency with the players from the Americas and how much better they are now than they were at the start.
I think that example about Chain is actually a good point of reference for someone that has broken out from that kind of competitive mid-level to someone that can be respected as one of the top players now. Because he was battling in and around the Effortlesses and the Dramises for scrapping for those points in mid-table, and now has really solidified himself in the top end of the table. And I do see qualities in all players that they can push up to the next level. Obviously, it's a hard task and takes a lot of dedication, but there's no reason why they can't all take a step up.
So we're loading into Awoken now. Thanks for your patience, everybody. Effortless rocking the Galena pick here. I mean, Galena and Awoken can sometimes be a match made in heaven. And Effortless, I mean, he's a smart player. He does play heavily around those totems. And you can on a map like this. You can very much fortify yourself. But with Ranger coming through, very much a champion that can strong-arm his way through defenses. So
and it's one of those fascinating picks just to see how the meta has evolved. Like, I remember back in stage 1 and 2 where, you know, it was Galena Doom like every week on this map, and now we barely see either one of them as players have found new techniques and new identities. So it's really interesting to see that dynamic.
So, considering it was so close on the first map, I know Dramis said he had to go for a bit of a restart, so I wonder if he's going to be a little bit more on it this time, perhaps. I don't know. I don't want to come up with any theories because I don't see map number 2. It's going to be Awoken. Let's start things off. Looks like we're going to be checking out Dramis first.
Yeah, but that Ranger has a lot of utility again with the orb, with the lack of the rocket damage, and already using the orb to progress in. But that's missing easy rail. Dude, Effortless needs to count himself lucky. He is stuck down here, though.
And that's something that Dramis is going to try and capitalize on. He's going to get a little bit more of that stack. A safe bet that Effortless is going to use the jump pad, so Dramis was already ready for that rail angle. Here comes the first wave. The item spawns direct! Ooh, Effortless! Unfortunately for him, Dramis just was so confident Effortless was going to go that way.
Nice!
Opportunity to take down one of these totems. Totems are going to be deleted just like that. A really strong first frag here for Dramis. Teleportation, hard to kind of run away from a Ranger that can be everywhere. At that point, Dramis doesn't even care that he took a rail. Oh, not now the Mega's been taken. He can afford to take a couple more.
You can see how ballsy Effortless is, and it will pay off for him as he just wonks around with virtually no health to his name. Dramis will be a bit frustrated by that. Effortless had no right to make that work. Still not got the right weaponry to commit for this Mega. Decides to anyway, and that's a bit careless.
I mean, we were a split second from that second SSG, so you can only assume there that Effortless, it was like an all-or-nothing play. The SSG probably would have killed if he just had time. But speaking of SSG, it's going to be used cleanly for Dramis to soak up another frag. Some bonus rocket damage fresh off the spawn. He's got all the weapons now. He's in a position towards the Mega. Now, the Mega's going to spawn way later than right now, but the important thing is that he's controlling a little bit of a fumble there from Dramis, perhaps.
Might work out as he's got a better angle to this Mega now. And Effortless is really out of position to try and do any damage for this. Wants to work his way around to pick up some of the much needed weaponry. Has a good fighting stack, can deal some sort of damage onto this Mega. Does hit a rail, but they do exchange, and that's not in Effortless's favour.
Ooh, both players looking for another quick little rail. But from this point, it's all about positioning again, and that's what Dramis has been able to control. He still has the Dire Orb ready to rock and roll if he needs it.
He's going to use it here to get up there. That's such a powerful tool.
You just don't need to jump pad. You don't need to jump pad with the safety of the orb.
He delays as well.
Oh. Didn't quite go as planned, though, with what I assume was probably a rocket jump there, so he didn't have to use the jump pad. But Effortless didn't spawn near a rail, so there was really not much he could do about that one. Here comes the rocket again. Round the corner just to start some damage. Dramis is going to pop that jump pad, knowing that he has very little to fear here, but the turnaround damage from Effortless has been extreme. Drops down one of those totems, but not before taking so much rocket damage, and it forced the suicide situation for Effortless. That sucks.
Feels like Effortless is playing without a plan at the moment. He's just running at Dramis. Dramis is just responding, and Kine is way too stacked. He's hitting his shots. I sense some frustration from Effortless at the moment because his positioning isn't there. He's not forging opportunities. He's just trying to take a fight.
But once more, we can see Dramis again in a position to just fight for these items. Effortless has to hit so much of this LG. The totem gets dropped, but hang on a minute, okay. Somewhat of a blessing in disguise. Dramis misses a couple of key shots there that allows Effortless to survive. How does he recover? Dramis is still the one that has he's got the timing, he's got the position, he's got the combos. Gets another one there.
It almost feels like Genik versus Anaku. We've got no item from Effortless. On a map like Awoken with no items, and it's just delaying the inevitable, and Effortless definitely needs to refocus here because the map is very quickly spiraling out of control.
Yeah, this is a player like Effortless who looks kind of stuck and not particularly sure how to get around versus a Dramis that is, I mean, he's feeling himself, you can see it. He's hitting every shot, he's perfectly positioned, the fights are going perfect every single time, the orbs as well. Nothing has gone wrong for Dramis yet, but everything is going wrong for Effortless.
Yeah, and it's a really bad situation to be in mentally when nothing's going your way, but you can see he's just trying to force fights that are never in his favor anyway. So the outcome, unless, as you rightly say, your opponent misses everything, you're just going to die. Perhaps it's remnants of that frustration you mentioned from the last game or something, I don't know. But there is 5 minutes to go. It's not without the realm's possibility. If he regroups and manages to get onto the board in terms of items, he can then slowly forge a comeback. But at this point in time, Dramis has full control. There's only 3 major his name in 5 minutes of this map so far.
And you very much need to... You also, at the same time, on this comeback, you have to throw Dramis off his flow when he is absolutely the one riding all the momentum. So being able to just kind of steal that away, it's not just a matter of snapping your fingers and, hey, now Dramis has lost his flow. And just look at how many shots he's hitting. And Effortless! So confident he's going to go for the Dire Orb, but it just throws you off. This is so good for Dramis. One of his best maps that we've seen in a long time.
He's not being tested, though, to be fair. This is now just a day at the office. Yeah, exactly. It's a day at the office. Play the items, make sure you're timing well, hit your shots, and you will win.
Easy little rocket jump. Even more damage being peppered out there. The tri-bolt narrowly misses Effortless in that situation. I think you're pretty correct here, Dan. He's just not being tested. That almost looked like it was going to be a ring out. If it was a bit closer towards the center, then maybe it would have been. And, oh! Cheeky rockets for Dramis. And even if he makes any errors in execution, he's just not really able to be punished. He's missing a little jump here. He's having to use a jump pad or whatever. It doesn't matter. He doesn't have to care.
No, exactly. And yes, Effortless is doing a lot of damage for pretty much every single one of these frags, but he's not then picking up any items. He just dies, respawns, rinse, repeat.
Ooh. Squeezing out that cheeky little angle. So close to hitting its mark there, but Dramis, 3 minutes left. I mean, surely this has to be an absolute done deal. Dramis went in for a PC restart. Looks like it's been good for him.
Oh, that's an overcommittal from Dramis, though. Finally, Effortless gets position onto the Mega. Dramis, easy heavy, skirts himself away.
Looking for another rail. Has to be careful from this angle. Effortless missing the shot. That's the green light for Dramis to escape. And now it's just wasting time. Just delay the inevitable, which is going to be a map win for Dramis. 2.5 minutes left on the clock. 9 frags in the lead. I mean, come on. He just has to make sure. Yeah, just here, hide now. Take as long as possible. How long is it going to take Effortless to find?
Heavy since the first pickup of the game.
Dramis just going to hide here.
So
how long can he just... I wonder how long he can just live. Oh, here. He waits until he can hear the heavy and then decides to pick up. So, I mean, he waited a good 30 seconds there. Just a done deal, isn't it?
It is a done deal.
Finish the job. There's some damage from Effortless. Looks like he should be able to get potentially a frag at least. If he can't even get this one, that's just going to make you feel even worse.
Yeah. And he will probably go down here because Dramis has all the advantage in Effortless. Gives his life away.
So from this point, Effortless just has to think about what's happening next, right? You just forget about this map, write it off. It's already done, so just try and keep your execution high, maybe get a couple of rails or something similar just to keep your hands nice and warm, but yeah, this was the Dramis show from start to finish. I mean, when was the last time an item spawned that Dramis wasn't there first in?
Is a skill in itself. Like the ability to take a map at a time and keep momentum up when things aren't going your way from game to game. It's easy to let conditions and circumstance and luck and everything else get into your mind. Like one-on-one games they're all about testing the mental as much as the everything else. So this is where a lot of great players fall down, like myself included back in the day. Like the mental aspect of Duel is the hardest thing to deal with.
That's why Quake is such a hard game. Even outside of a competitive level, there's just so many different things to remember in a map-by-map basis that when we're on Pro League level and every single map has to be treated like its own experience and there's so much to think about and there's so much to execute, it's so much harder than it looks at times, and it looks pretty difficult. On the best
all it takes is for one thing to not go your way, and then something can trigger, and mentally you lose it, and then your opponent gets it in, and the whole thing can spiral out of control before you realise what's even happened. And I'm not saying that's what's happened here, but it's definitely something Effortless was not happy with in the game, or what happened, and you could see he lost that game mentally rather than anything else. Like his mechanical skills are on point. Just 61% rail when he was kind of just throwing it around. So he needs to work out how to address that.
But we were looking at a lot of those stats, outclassed in almost every area. It was 3 versus 15 heavies, over 20 megas went into the dramis. Yeah. It's one of those matches where if it was damage, he had more of it. If it was item control, he had more of it. dramis just looked like the more comfortable player. And
you can see all of these frags. It was just Effortless running into dramis, overexposing himself. Like, he was doing incredible damage, but you can see when someone's a little bit off their game, because these fights, Effortless is super exposed. They're never in his favor, so he's trying to force something to happen. That's not a good situation to be in.
And I mean, it's really just a matter of looking at all these replays and seeing pretty much the same thing. It's always dramis being the one that has the angle on him first. Effortless is the one that takes the opening damage. He does his best to fight back. Does a respectable amount of damage himself, but when it's time to finish the job, dramis executes it perfectly.
I think I've seen about the same frag 4 or 5 times. That's what it feels like. Exactly the same situation.
Again, ask and you shall receive. But our final map, I mean, it's going to be different, guaranteed, because it's going to be the battle of the big bodies. Keel versus Scalebearer. Should be Vale if we're seeing these two champions picked. But it's like what we talk about a lot, where if you're 2-0 down, I mean, we have to remember that it's bonus points for getting a 3-0, so at least being able to deny that, it's going to be better than nothing. But for Effortless, there needs to be something changing, and it has to change right now. Otherwise, dramis is going to run away with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think having a heavy champion to your name means you can be a bit more aggressive to spawn. You have that fallback with the additional stack, and that's going to favour Effortless ever so slightly, give you a bit more safety net, if you will. So if you're not playing up to scratch, or you're over committing, you have that in your favour. But as you rightly said, that's not going to be any sort of saving grace if dramis has full control, positional advantage, and you're not taking the fights at the right time. If you build your platform, if you will. So it's, for me, this game comes down to which Effortless is going to turn up. If he turns up to play, we'll see a close game like we saw in map 1. If he doesn't, dramis is going to stomp, because dramis is an excellent player.
You're going for a map start? Sorry, I'm just got to quickly check that both players are ready to go.
No problem.
Sorry, I've semi-admin jobs. Never had to do this before.
You're doing an excellent job.
Okay. We should be good. Start match.
Ready?
No, there's a lot of pressure here. Sorry, I've never had this power. So I've just clicked start, and then we'll go here. But both players have confirmed that they're ready to go. Oh, that's right. That was a complete curveball to me. I was like, the second I get the power to start match, I'm like, wait. Never had to do that.
I could see the cogs turning in your head as you were working out what the game plan was.
It's more that I'm just paranoid that I'm going to make a mistake. The second you get the power, I'm just like, I'm not ready to have all that power. Normally, I just do the talky thing. You know what I mean? But yeah. Anyway, Vale of Nath, we're loading into now. It's just the way we've just developed a time limit duel that. You just see the larger champions now, don't you? It's all about being able to sustain and fight. It's a brawl-heavy map anyway, and they've got the stack to refrag. We talk about it all the time. It's super prominent. I think. Hang on, let me just check.
I'm a fan of the big boys. Like as fun as it is watching light champions fly around the map, if you want to watch a real brawl, real rumble, put two heavy champions against each other. I think we should just call vote. You know, scale bearer 1-on-1s across the board, everyone. That's what I want to see. But that's my suggestion to make this even better. Dramis.
We've got to change the server to the right server.
You've messed up. Is that what you're telling me?
I want to have an excuse, but yes, I did. I believe they are. Let me just quickly confirm.
So after your little freak out about making a mistake,
no, I knew it. Anyway. I knew it. I was waiting for one thing.
Oh, production, please. Get Ryan off of this. I can't take it anymore.
This is where we learn. This is why I don't. This is why I'm not an admin, right? All right, wait a minute.
This multitasking is glorious.
I can't multitask.
I know, it's terrible.
I'm not even looking at the camera
it's
anymore.
Terrible.
I can't multitask.
I just want to. We're over here, Ryan. We're over here.
Right.
Do you want me to do it? I can use my high IQ to manage two things at once.
Unprofessional commentator. Yeah. Right. Okay.
My days.
I've just clicked start match. Sorry, this has never happened to me. I've been with this game for like what 3 years, and this has never happened.
Never had to start a server before.
What? Look, it's under these circumstances. I can't. Like my hands are sweating. Genuinely, my hands are sweating. I'm freaking out about it. But we're cool. We're cool.
Oh my word! We're in. Finally,
we're in. What even is there left to say about it? Sorry,
Good
everyone.
job.
I didn't sign up for this. But no, we're loading into the final map now. It should be the right everything. Admin, please save me in the next match. I can't take this pressure.
Bring back mustard.
It would be fun to just like one-off, just commentate like one map with mustard for old times' sake, the good old days. But I think we should be all right now. Okay, I'm just passively. Sorry, I know we're on the player cams right now. I've got my eyes glued to chat because we should be fine.
Making sure that you haven't messed up again.
I mean, I'm paranoid. I'm just paranoid about it at this point. But they haven't said anything yet, so we're business. 5-second countdown. We should be good. Good luck. Have fun, everyone.
Fight.
And they're both moving, which is a good sign.
On a serious note, sorry, everyone.
Did you put it on UK server or something? Anyway, we've got our kitchen here as Dramis charges off the spawn. Using the next speed advantage, he will run into Effortless. Booped him to death. It's a quick start.
On a serious note, everyone, apologies for that. Definitely was not prepared, and that's my bad. But as we now go in, the first frag has already got into the favour of Dramis. That's just the nature of these large champions. When a brawl breaks out, he gets the perfect call out. He just needs to get one extra little piece of damage. Effortless running for his life, but at this point, it's just going to delay things.
Oh, that was so nice. And he even doubles back to pick up some health. Oh, there wasn't any available. Plenty of time between major items as well. Stacks are relatively even given the heavy champion nature of this matchup. But Dramis with a bit more to work with in terms of his weaponry.
Oh, looks like we're going to get more of this exchange damage. Here comes the bull rush. Run for your life. I'm going to put him in a great position to get even more of this stack, though. And Dramis, I mean, he's not even super focused on the Mega at this point, because as long as he can get damage from Effortless, that's the start. You can't fight for it. There's a huge delay between the two items, and Effortless, again, just... It feels like he's spending a lot of this time now just kind of having to run away from Dramis, but when the fight happens, again, it's never on his terms. It's shades of every other map that we've seen from them today.
Absolutely. And Dramis definitely has the better of Effortless at this point. Once again, controlling that heavy of rocket launcher room, understanding that without that, Effortless is pretty useless.
More 100 damage rockets. These rockets from Dramis have been on the money.
Oh, look at that. That was so nice.
And he's
Effortless
a
a
bit
bit
too
early.
early. Yeah, early by like 4 seconds. Dramis is playing incredibly optimized, and Effortless is kind of being the direct opposite. He's just caught out of control, he's caught out of time.
Just running around with
The Mega's about to spawn.
Yeah, you can see
The Mega's
again.
about to spawn, it's not here.
Effortless is it's not with it. Does a lot of damage, but once again, it's just before that heavy spawn. So Dramis has plenty of time to pick up the light, pick up the heavy. Oh no, not pick up the heavy, but hits a full rocket as well. Quite early for this Mega, but Effortless isn't going to make a play onto it. Instead, does double back to pick up the necessary weaponry to compete.
But the shots, they just refuse to miss. The ball rush, right as I say refuse. What is it with cursing players today? Right as I say,
Just don't
he
speak.
refuses to miss.
Stick to admin.
Well, he gets it anyway. He gets it anyway. Effortless, I think, acknowledging for sure that it was just a bad place to get caught. But I'm a bit concerned about this at the moment. Effortless just consistently just getting caught out on spawn, or the damage from Dramis is just ridiculous, and Effortless has just either a weird weapon out, or like right now, just direct. Was that 300 damage?
I mean, like, I'm going to be frank here and say I'm pretty frustrated because he's just not. He's not putting in. I was going to say a pun there, the effort, but I mean, he's just not playing properly in the purest sense. Like, he's putting out huge amounts of damage, but it's all reckless. He's not forging the right situations, and look at them all. It's 10-1, 4 minutes in already.
Here come the fireworks.
And he's spending every single grenade on the anticipation of maybe going through a teleporter. It just feels a little bit autopilot.
I would rather he GG out than waste time, because it's not good.
Well, from this point, it's just going to be just an aiming simulator for Dramis. If things continue the way they are on this map, because it looks like right now he's controlling the map again. He's always near the items. I love the fact that Scalebearer can do that. Reminds me of an old NES game. Just opening rails again. LG's going to look absolutely fantastic. Effortless, caught retreating, just wrong part of town, time and time again. The combo, the Scalebearer running into the Scalebearer that's moving, taking damage, piece it in with the SSG. It's just disgusting damage. And it's too predictable on some of these items. And Dramis just getting a perfect clinic of damage here. Effortless just really not existing on this map at all.
No, he's not even making an attempt to. He's just trying to hit. The fact it's great, but even then, like, without map control or without trying to force the right situations, he's not going to get a comeback. So it's Dramis just needs to play basic, and he will win this very, very easy.
And at this point, Dramis is unchallenged across this map. And the second Effortless has been seen, it's when Dramis is the one that's pressing the advantage again. What are these quick little rails? Effortless. But it's all about positioning and time, isn't it? That Dramis off the spawn is able to kind of cycle around the entire map. He is going to concede a frag again at last, but Effortless is... I've never seen a man run around with so much gauntlet.
He enjoys the weapon. High uptime.
Okay, good chase down. Dramis having to show tons of respect with that ball rush. He knows that he's likely to give up free shots there, so he has to take as little damage as possible. And normally would say that, you know, there's always still time to make this comeback, but there's a lot of frags that Effortless needs to daisy chain together. This is the map where you can do it. It's just there's been so much frags given up early on that you do wonder if it's possible, because this isn't just any opponent either. This is a Scalebearer. He's going to have ball rushes available. He's going to have a giant stack on spawn. Getting those quick frags is going to be easier said than done when he has so many ways to not die and waste time.
Yeah. And Dramis knows what's up. Like, he knows Effortless is just going to run at him and hit shots. Almost knows he's got over a 10 frag advantage, so... Also, he just wants to respond in kind. He's quite happy to actually play properly and play items, you know? So...
Drama's building up some of that speed. Ball rush just to guarantee the Mega gets stolen. Effortless is unable to hit these marks. Right as Dramas is hitting the defensive shots, that missed rail is going to result in a finished job, but 10 frags consistently. Effortless is about 10 frags behind. There's just too much of a mountain to climb here as ZSX.
Oh yeah, this game was over from pretty much 30 seconds in. Being real.
Aggressive
when
scale bearer.
decided not to play.
Just give yourself too much work. That's all it really comes down to. Goes in for the rocket launcher. Swiftly punished by Drama at this point, looking like he's going to break at least 20 frags. Another. Just chase down, fresh off spawn. Dramas is hitting almost every single shot. I know he missed that one, but he's just feeling himself. There's a different level here where maybe Effortless has been a little bit frustrated, and Dramas has kind of been the opposite effect, where he's just been hitting every shot. He's clearly been very confident indeed. Effortless taking even more damage. The full rush to finish it. The light health gets taken away, but at that point, who cares? Oh no, again! And the acid. The acid finished the job. Oh, the same autopilot just running forward. Dramas, it almost feels like just standing still. Like, what is going on? Stuck in a bad position. Looking like it's going to go down again. Dramas keeping a lead. Another rail angle. Easy shot. You know, when I said this was going to be a Dramas aim simulator, I didn't actually mean it.
And it literally is another day at the office where... yeah.
You've run out of ways
didn't have to do anything.
You've run out of ways to say it, I think.
Yeah, you literally didn't have to do anything.
1 minute warning. This map was already finished though before it began at this rate. Run out of rail ammo, but we still have a ball rush ready to go. Oh, good damage. Very good damage, and actually dropping a railgun on spawn so Dramas doesn't even have to go and get ammo. A one-sided result for Dramas, who just waits for the grenades to be used. Hitting so much rocket damage as well. It has to be said, his rockets have been on the money. Almost every single time. 25 seconds left of this, and then we will be finished. Dramas.
It's super unfortunate when someone as good as Effortless, with mechanical skill he has, just struggles to mentally stay in the game. Like, I'm not sure what was it that particularly triggered him in this situation, and I'm not going to deny it, it's not easy. Like, there are many players out there that don't make the grade because they cannot hack it on a mental level and duel. And yeah, but when you're just going to run around and not even put in any effort from the word go, how do you expect to progress? Like, it's the kind of map that these weeks aren't just about getting points. These weeks are about trying to progress as a player. If that's one of your biggest weaknesses, you need to try and address it. Like, it's as simple as that.
Yeah, but on the opposite end of that, if you're in Drama's position, it's one of those things where it's like, you know what it isn't? Drama's the problem. And he just still played it normally. He still played the way he always does. And ordeal.
No, 100%. Like, Dramas, if he plays basic, which he did, he's going to win the game. It's very easy to switch off as a player, so all credit to Dramas for not doing that. And all it took, if Dramas switched off a bit earlier and Effortless get a foot in, then potentially he starts to then control the map and rekindles the lead, and Dramas loses. So Dramas had to do what needed to be done to win, but it wasn't very hard.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much to break down from that final map. We have a lot more to talk about from the previous two maps, where we're just more about Dramas playing incredibly well, being in those fantastic positions. His execution has been phenomenal today, even before that final map, which is a little bit of a write-off, it has to be said. He was just hitting those crazy good shots. The Ranger Orb combos, the rockets were fantastic. The rails, especially in that final match, were just out of this world.
And that's why it's super unfortunate as well, because Dramas was playing well. And that first map was incredible, how close it was. They both played extremely well. And then from about 2-3 minutes, all downhill for Effortless, and he had given up hope. And the drama show came through for the last 50 minutes of this series. So all credit to Dramis. He deserves the 3 maps. It's what we said it was. Unfortunately, it was easier than we hoped it was going to be as well.
Well, on that note, we're going to cut to our next matchup, and it promises to be quite a killer one. We're going to cut away for a quick break and set things up. Thanks for joining us so far. Week 2 of Stage 4 of the Quake Pro League. We'll be back in a few minutes' time.